Hello everybody, it's Sarah, and today I want to talk about this book right here, which is The Memory Police by Yoko Ogawa. I read this in April for the Magical Readathon for the Owls, for one of the prompts, and it's my second 5-star read so far in 2020. Like, only my second, not counting rereads of books that I have given 5 stars to previously. And yeah, that's why I want to talk about this, because it's my second 5-star read, because I enjoyed it a lot and I have a lot of thoughts that I want to share in a spoiler-free way. But before I get into those thoughts, let me tell you a bit about what this story and what this book is. This is a translated work from Japanese, and let me just say the translator, who is Stephen Snyder, did an excellent and amazing job. I think like everything that was there in the original novel, I'm pretty sure is still there in this translated work. So yeah, excellent job. And as for genre, I find it kind of hard to put non-Western books in a specific genre, because I feel like genre, as we understand it, is very much influenced by our culture and by Western culture. So if a book comes from outside that culture, I find it kind of hard to say this is the genre it is. But if I had to put it into a genre, I would say this is non-fiction with hints of magical realism, as well as a dystopian society and surveillance society. And the plot of this book is set on an island where every now and again things just disappear. And the things aren't just like simple single things, but what disappears is, for example, roses or birds. And when something disappears, for the people living on that island, all the feelings connected to that thing disappear as well, and in time the memories, of course, as well. And not even just feelings. For example, when perfume disappears, you won't be able to smell perfume anymore. It will smell like water to you, basically. But even though that's the case for most people living on the island, there's still some few people who can remember. So one day this organization appears, the Memory Police, and their mission is to make sure that everything that has disappeared stays disappeared. And they try to find the people who can still remember, and so on. And the people who can still remember just end up vanishing. Our main character is a young author, and one day she discovers that her editor is one of those people who can still remember, and so she tries to make sure that he stays hidden from the Memory Police. So yeah, that was it for basics on this book, so now let's get into my thoughts. Usually in my reviews I structure them in a way where I first talk about negative stuff, then I talk about neutral kind of stuff, where you might like it, you might not like it, and then I talk about positive stuff. I will not do that in this review, because first of all, there's not really anything negative that I could say about this book. And I feel like actually most of this book kind of falls into that neutral zone where I absolutely loved everything this book did. But if you're not a fan of Japanese writing styles, and if you're not a fan of the way a lot of Japanese stories, at least in my experience, are built, you will not like this book. It's as simple as that. I, if you do not know if you like it or not, would still highly recommend you go and pick this book up. Just maybe not at the moment, because we kind of live in a dystopian society as it is at the moment anyway. So like, maybe if you're someone who's prone to anxiety, don't pick this book up right now. First, to kind of try to get across what I feel this writing is like, let me talk about Japanese design, especially Japanese modern design. It has something that I would personally call beautifully simple and simply beautiful. Japanese design has something where it feels like it's broken down to its very basics and to its very necessities. There's nothing unnecessary about them. Like, maybe if you're familiar with brands like Muji or Uniqlo, you will know what I mean. It's just very simple, not simple in a way where it's like not complex, but just simple. And the same can be said for this writing. I feel like there isn't a single word in this writing that doesn't exactly have its purpose to be there. It's not flowery at all. There's no kind of ornamental prose, I don't know how else to describe it. It's just very broken down, but in a way where everything that's necessary is there, and where you can still see or read the craftsmanship that's necessary to write in this way. And it's just a writing style that is simply beautiful and beautifully simple. I loved it so much. And that thing can be said, aside from the writing style, for every single aspect in this book. The characters as well, we do not learn anything about the characters that isn't absolutely necessary to know. We do not learn a lot about their past. We do not learn a lot about their present lives, about their lives. It's just the story that's in the moment, and that's what we know about the characters. I actually also feel like this book in a way is written very emotionless. There's not a lot of emotion put into the story itself, yet at the same time it evoked a lot of emotions and a lot of thoughts in me while I was reading it. And the other thing that I also love is the way this book deals with themes. I feel like in Western literature, especially in literary fiction, I often am kind of like hesitant with literary fiction because it can be kind of on your nose with a lot of like the themes, kind of in a way where Oscar bait movies also are just like, look at this, all the themes in here, and like, aren't we so sophisticated? Without kind of really being sophisticated. And this has a lot of themes pulled throughout it. There's the surveillance state, there's the importance of memories for who we are as people and who we are as a person, for our character, and so on, for our society. And yet the themes aren't dealt with in a way that's very obvious. They're kind of just pulled throughout the story in a way that they make you think, but not without being overly obvious, as I said. The same can be said about our characters. As I said earlier, I think we never really learn a lot about the lives of our characters. Yet we still spend most of the book with them, and they are the main focus of the story, even though it's not a character study in the way, for example, A Little Life is a character study. We in fact never even learn the name of our main character. Yet I still care so deeply about all of the three main characters. There's three characters. There's of course our main character, who is a young author. There is the editor, who can remember, and then there's an old man who helps the two of them. And the interactions between these three characters are just so heartwarming, even though they're written in a very dry, almost emotionless way. And it's so hard to really put into words how this book is written and what is so special about it. But if anything, what I told you about, even though I know it wasn't very definitive, interests you in picking up this book, I can just really highly recommend it. It's unlike any book that I have ever written, and I will definitely see if I can find more of Yoko Ogawa's translated work, and I hope I do, even though maybe it's not possible, because I think this was like published in the 90s and it was only translated last year. So yeah. But that was it for this review. I really hope you enjoyed it. If you have read this book and you can put into words better what it is that's so special about it, please tell me in the comments down below, because I really hope someone else can find the words. I tried to film this video 3 or 4 times and it didn't get any better. And yeah, with that said, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, maybe think about giving me a thumbs up and also maybe subscribing. All the links to my social media and description box down below, so go and check those out, and I hope I'll see you soon. Bye!